verse 2 he says, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. You know what that means? The conscience of mankind has become so corrupt that it's going to be so corrupt in these latter days that seared means it's almost, it means like a branding of a cow or branding of some type of livestock. It means that it's been seared, that the conscience of mankind has been seared to the point that mankind doesn't know right from wrong, doesn't have the knowledge of being right from wrong. And it goes on, it says, having doctrines of devils and deceiving spirits. Folks, you may be thinking, well, I don't believe in demons. Folks, I want you to know, demons are real. Satan has his angels. It says the thief cometh not to steal and to kill and to destroy. But Jesus said, I have come to give life, and that life more abundantly. The doctrines of demons and the doctrines of things are growing more and more in the days and age which we live. You may be saying, well, how, Brother Brian? Well, folks, I know they're just movies. And I know movies are movies. I hear people say that it's just a movie. But folks, I believe that the movies go far deeper than just movies. I believe as a whole in the TV networks and the TV shows and the movie industries that we have today, they're going to the point that they're trying to influence belief. Belief in a certain system. I've never seen such a craze over vampires in all my life. In vampires, this movies that has come out. These movies that I had it on, I forgot to write it down. Twilight. These Twilight movies. Folks, the doctrines of demons, and I know they're movies. But folks, people are drawn to the dark things today more and more and more. The Harry Potter movies. You may think, well, it's just a movie. It's just books. I agree with you. But folks, when you look beyond just the movie aspect, and you look beyond what it entails, these movies are eat up and engulfed with witchcraft, with warlocks, with things that God in Deuteronomy has said is an abomination to His people. Now, how do you get around that? If God says that He's the same today, yesterday, and forever, then how do we get around that? You may be saying, Brother Brian's saying that I should never watch that again. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying parents and I'm saying children and youth, look at me. There is an underlying thing that this old world is trying to get you to see. And it's the doctrines of demons and the doctrines of devils. And that's the reason why we need to know what we believe to be able to stand against the evils of the day. But I want us to go on, and I want us to look at the things that Paul said when we look, and there's so many other things that we can look at. But please turn over with me to 2 Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 3, and talking about the last days, and talking about the latter days. See, in 1 Timothy, Paul he talked about it in the realm of doctrines and demons and this and that. He really didn't go into detail. But in the book of 2 Timothy, he went into some details. It's almost like Timothy, I covered this before in the first book that I wrote you, but now in the second book, I want to go a little bit deeper. I want you to understand what times you are living in. And church, I want you to just see how many of these things are in the world today. That when he talked about in 2 Timothy chapter 3. But know this. When he was writing to Timothy, he said, I want you to know this. I want you to understand this. I want you to grasp this. Timothy, but know this, that in the last days perilous times will come. Amen. You don't have to go any further than to realize that that's already taken place. I've never seen such stressful times upon believers and upon people than all my life. I know I'm only 45 years old. Only? Did y'all get that? Only 45 years old. But perilous times, folks, are here. Hard times. I'll tell you what. Y'all just have pastor's ears dads share with me too. Perilous times are here. You don't have to go very far. Just grab you a couple of pastors' ears and just sit. Folks, we wouldn't have to read any further than to know that the latter days are here because of the perilous times. But he just didn't leave it in the perilous times. He went deeper. He said these perilous times are going to be this. He said men will be lovers of themselves. Hello? What does that mean? I'm somebody, and if you don't know I'm somebody, I'm going to tell you I'm somebody. Amen. That's just not preachers either. Hello? Men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters. You know what a boaster is? I'm glad that I'm who I am, and I'm glad I'm not you. Boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents. Hello! Is that happening today, or am I out in left field somewhere? Folks, it doesn't matter what age you are. My dad is still living. I want to cover that just for a moment. My dad is still living. He is 80 years old. My dad is not to honor me. Hello, kids. Hello, kids. Hello, kids. It's not my dad's job to honor me. I do not. My dad doesn't have to line up to his son. My mom and dad wasn't supposed to do everything that old little Brian wanted him to do. Folks, in the days and age in which we live, we got it backwards. A lot of the parents don't want to be the parents. They want the kids to lead, and then the kids expect the parents to line up behind them. Folks, there's nothing wrong with supporting your kids. There's nothing wrong with doing what your children and helping them and being there for them. But there is something wrong when the kids are leading the pack. It doesn't say parents, it doesn't say disobedient to children, it says disobedient to parents. And going back to what I was sharing, my dad's 80 years old. If my dad was to say, line up, Brian, I'm going to do my best to try to line up with what he says, as long as it's biblical. Hello? Godly and lines up with this word. Unthankful. What does unthankful mean? They never stop to say thank you for nothing. No kindness in the thank you. No consideration in the thank you.